Hello everyone, and welcome to my young and restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Phyllis and Sharon argue over how to find the camera in Havenhurst without being noticed. Sharon believes they ought to carry it out in the open. Let him come and face them, it doesn't matter whether they can see them taking the camera apart. This concept appeals to Phyllis. They will challenge them to enter. They would have an opportunity to leave, according to Sharon. Phyllis advises her to take things a step further. Let's demolish the location. He will definitely go down there after that. The implication that they need to release some aggression makes Sharon nod. After clearing a table, she approaches Phyllis and asks, "What are you waiting for?" Nick encourages Billy to phone Summer while they are in his car. Billy shows a flashback of him and Nick working together to solve the disappearance of Sharon and Phyllis. As Billy's daydream comes to an end, Nick ends his phone conversation with Summer. He believes that Summer sounds afraid. They summarize that for months, life has been a living hell. Jordan and Ian first, and now another madman. All Nick can do is hope they arrive in time. They decide not to allow Chance to eject them. Nick finds it incomprehensible that someone would abduct Sharon and Phyllis without requesting a ransom. Conversation shifts to the phone message. Whether it's them or Phyllis and Sharon, someone will have to pay for saving them. What does it mean that he is guiding them directly to them? Although Nick is unsure, he has a feeling that they will soon receive an answer. Chance is annoyed by Billy and Nick's arrival at Havenhurst and promises to get the Newman security detail to support them. Billy is curious as to why they aren't breaking down the door. According to Chance, they are awaiting the landlord's arrival so they can enter. Additionally, they are awaiting a search warrant. Billy and Nick are not impressed. They have no idea what's happening inside. Over the past 6 months, these women have endured a lot. Chance is giving them an order not to enter. It might be a trap. They will adhere to police protocol because this is a police matter. Chance receives a text message confirming the approval of the search warrant. But he demands that they hold off until the landlord opens the door. Nick and Billy pace hurriedly. Phyllis and Sharon trash the joint. Inside, Phyllis and Sharon enjoy nothing more than breaking lights and tearing up cushions. Phyllis shouts about Jordan, the devil's bride, while Sharon screams about Ian Ward. She drugged Sharon and stuck her in the sewer, according to Sharon's cries. When she runs her off the road, Phyllis yells at her. "This one is for poisoning my medication and driving me insane," sobs Sharon. "I was clueless about what I was doing." This is in response to Heather's passing, my accusation against Daniel, and the suffering I caused you and your family. She knocks over the bookshelf. Sharon expresses her sincere regret for what transpired to Phyllis. They no longer need to travel there, according to Phyllis. That section that she was stranded there with her was fortunate. Both of them, according to Sharon, have had plenty of time there to reflect on the costs of their hatred. Phyllis concurs. It was only after their entire past was thrust upon them that they came to this realization. "I've heard of tough love, but this is kind of ridiculous," she thinks. They make the decision to continue. Sharon questions whether they are observing or hearing them. Phyllis yells that they are not going down without a fight and that this is no longer a game. They must do this for their families, adds Sharon. The sicko is reassured that they are not finished. They must live for their family. After enumerating their kids, they turn to Nick. There's awkward laughter. "Cassidy first," declares Phyllis. "And your new job," Sharon says with a nod. They inquire as to the voice's next course of action. Now it's his turn to ponder the situation. "We can't be stopped." "You made an effort," Phyllis shouts. Nick and Billy become impatient. Nick attempts to clean the glass door outside so he can see inside. Billy and he gripe about the landlord's tardiness. Although Chance is aware of their anxiety, he does not want the offender to get away with it on a legal technicality. As they argue, Billy yells about allowing the women to perish inside. The landlord arrives with a ring of keys at that same moment and asks what they want him to do. "Open the damn door," yells Billy. Chance asks the man if anyone has gotten in touch with him recently regarding this location and suggests to wait a moment. The landlord gives a headshake. The structure hasn't been used in years. They discover the locks were altered after trying the key. Nick tells the man that they will be breaking down the door. "Is there something wrong with that?" Phyllis and Sharon are inside, laughing at their cluttered room. "Junkyard chic," quips Sharon. "She's actually funny," Phyllis assures her. They didn't notice it until they were in the hellhole. "Now what?" asks Sharon. The camera is held up by Phyllis. "I assume the voice will be upset because it cannot see us." She anticipates a visit shortly. According to Sharon, this will give them the advantage. However, she cautions that they'll most likely arrive armed. Phyllis concludes that they ought to locate a means of self-defense. Sharon locates a thermos while Phyllis snatches a plastic thing. They switch off the light and wait near the door. Chance informs Billy and Nick outside that the door is composed of glass that is impervious to breaking. He prevents Nick from entering by jimmying the lock. The police must leave first. Billy and Nick pursue them into the darkness as they do so. A serious new issue. Phyllis and Sharon hear a distant door close in their room. A notification is sent to one of the burner phones. Here's another puzzle. "Ladies, that's not very sportsmanlike. You lose." That seems more like a death threat to Sharon. He's coming for them, Phyllis is certain. Once more, they occupy their post at the door. After everything they've done in their lives to keep their families safe, Phyllis reminds Sharon that they are badass. "We are survivors," Sharon says with a nod. "Take my hand," says Phyllis. "We can do this." The song resumes playing over the speaker as they notice a hissing sound. "What is that?" says Sharon. "Oh my God," responds Phyllis. "It's gas." "Where is it coming from?" asks Sharon. Phyllis discovers the source when they begin their investigation, but she is unable to switch it off. She tries to plug it with the towel Sharon gives her, but she chokes. Chance steps outside the door with the others. The melody reaches them. Nick yells out Sharon's name and claims to be aware that they are inside. Upcoming, rekindled old flames. Phyllis cannot stop the gas in the room. "He won't win," she shouts to the voice. Chance shouts to them outside the door as Sharon hands her another sheet. Sharon says, "I heard someone," to Phyllis. They are short of time, Phyllis cautions. She should move away from the gas pipe, Sharon advises. "If she stays still, she will faint." Billy notes that none of the other rooms were locked outside the door. They begin to test the door. The saving. As Phyllis faints, Sharon enters the room, sees the door handle moving, and reaches for her thermos. Sharon waits while holding the thermos above her head. When Phyllis begins to cough, Sharon advises her to cover her mouth and nose. She hears Nick yelling at her abruptly. Sharon responds to him. "Is Phyllis with her?" Billy asks. She claims she is, but they must go quickly because she is not feeling well. In order to shoot off the lock, they yell at the women to retreat. "They can't," Sharon yells, "or there will be an explosion." "All right, then back up," says Nick. He then kicks in the door. Nick snatches Sharon as the men dash in. "I've been looking for you," Billy says as he rushes to Phyllis and grips her. "She should stay with him," he says. "I've got you." They both agree that they must leave. Who is the sicko? Chance informs Billy and Nick later at the ranch that Sharon and Phyllis, who are seated on the sofa, ought to be checked out at the hospital. Nick concurs, but after examining them, the EMTs cleared them to return home. "They just want to be somewhere familiar," Billy explains. "Do you have anything new?" asks Nick. Chance gives a headshake. He believes that there isn't much evidence of this individual. This was meticulously planned out. If activated, the gas was set to explode. It is diabolical. This took a great deal of planning and consideration. This isn't just any kidnapping. They are unable to comprehend why or who would do this. Nick joins the women and inquires as to how they got to be in the clinic. Sharon and Phyllis describe how they were drugged and brought there separately. They assumed it was someone's joke when they woke up together. Phyllis assumes they believed she had taken Sharon out. She provided them plenty of grounds to believe so. She is certain that the madman hoped people would believe it. He spoke to them in a twisted voice, but they have no idea who the madman is. They inquire as to whether Ian or Jordan are still alive. Chance affirms that they aren't. This is someone else, they know. According to Phyllis, Ian and Jordan are just regular psychopaths. They are ill, whomever they are. They seem to enjoy seeing them struggle. For their own amusement, they enjoyed the game. When the mouse dies, the game of cat and mouse is over. Chance believes that everyone is curious about who this individual is. They don't know. Phyllis claims that they played games with them and always spoke in a distorted voice. About the games, Billy inquires. They learn about the riddles from Phyllis and Sharon. The individual was well informed about them. Phyllis claims that initially, she believed he was attempting to mediate a settlement between them. Nick swears he didn't drug them or take them hostage. Phyllis claims that she merely had such thought for a brief moment. After they figured out the riddles, Billy wants to know what happened. According to Phyllis, their independence was assured. According to Sharon, they had to rescue each other's lives because of falsehoods. They were poisoned, Phyllis reveals. It was someone's project, and they were being observed like lab rats. Billy and Nick admit that the individual used puzzles to guide them directly to them. Sharon speculates that their ultimate goal might have been to nearly save them but have them perish from the gas first. Phyllis says it's sick. Chance declares it to be over. Sharon and Phyllis doubt that. They're still out there, whomever they are. Before they attack again, they must locate them. An unsettling finding. Traci pours champagne in their suite across town. She frowns as she hears Alan's phone ring once more. Again? Will it not stop? She reaches for his phone and checks the alert, which reads, Clinic Security Breach. Safety measures implemented. The tension in Havenhurst reaches a fever pitch as Phyllis and Sharon, two women who have endured unimaginable trauma, take matters into their own hands. Frustrated, angry, and desperate for answers, they decide to provoke their captor by trashing the room they've been held in. Their actions are not just an act of defiance but a calculated move to draw out whoever has been tormenting them. As they smash lamps, topple furniture, and scream about the injustices they've suffered, their shared rage becomes a unifying force. Sharon's voice echoes with the pain of being drugged and manipulated, while Phyllis vents about being run off the road and framed for crimes she didn't commit. Their cathartic destruction of the room is a symbolic rejection of the psychological torture they've endured. Yet, beneath the chaos, there's a growing bond between the two women, forged in the crucible of their shared suffering. They acknowledge the mistakes they've made in the past and the toll their feud has taken on their families. This moment of reckoning is both raw and redemptive, as they vow to fight for their survival and for the people they love. Meanwhile, outside the building, Nick and Billy are consumed with worry and frustration. They've been led to Havenhurst by a series of cryptic messages, and the urgency to rescue Sharon and Phyllis is palpable. Nick's concern for Sharon is evident as he tries to peer through the shatterproof glass door, while Billy's impatience boils over into anger. The arrival of the landlord with the keys offers a glimmer of hope, but the discovery that the locks have been changed only heightens the tension. Chance, the voice of reason, insists on following proper procedure, but Nick and Billy are unwilling to wait any longer. Their determination to save the women they care about overrides any concerns about legal technicalities. As they prepare to break down the door, the stakes couldn't be higher. Inside the room, Phyllis and Sharon's moment of triumph is short-lived. The arrival of a new riddle on one of the burner phones, not very sportsmanlike, ladies. You lose. Signals that their captor is still in control. The hissing sound of gas filling the room turns their defiance into a fight for survival. Sharon's quick thinking and Phyllis's resourcefulness are put to the test as they try to block the gas and stay conscious. The sound of Nick's voice outside the door gives them hope, but time is running out. When the men finally break through, the relief is overwhelming. Nick rushes to Sharon, while Billy holds Phyllis, both men vowing to protect the women they love. The rescue is a moment of triumph, but the mystery of their captor's identity looms large.